Hi, I'm Mark and this is Foothill Paint Fabrication. Today we're going to be tackling an old Ford tractor that was given to a friend of mine. We drug it over here to my property. He lives in Idaho, so he's a few states over. And so we dropped it here. It's been sitting for several months now. We got it in spring. But I need to see if I can get it running so we can raise the hydraulics and maybe move it and drive it up onto the trailer so we can drag it home and then drive it into a shop. So I don't even know what this tractor is. It's an old Ford tractor. Kind of thought it was a Jubilee at first, but that'd be nice, but it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not. So let's just jump into this thing, get it cleaned up, see if we can find serial number on it and figure out what it is first, and then see if we can get it running. Okay, let's take a quick tour real quick. So the thoughts were it could be a Jubilee, which I don't think it is. It could be, but I got to get the serial number off of it to figure out what it is. Like I said, it's been sitting a long time. It's got an add-on loader bucket on the front, overhead valves, so it's not a flathead. A lot of the hydraulics pretty suspect. A little afraid to starting it up. May put a bag or something over that just so I don't get showered in hydro if we happen to get it started. Then I got a come along holding up the box so we could get it on and off the trailer. All the tires hold air except this front one here. It's pretty rotten. I've got it blocked up. So I'm going to get this thing pressure washed off real fast and see how it goes. Okay, I don't know how clean I got it, but I got a lot of it transferred onto me, so it's got to be a little bit cleaner than it was. Let's dig in here and see if we can find some numbers and figure out exactly what this thing is. Okay, I think I found the model and serial number. So we can zoom in right there and get that in focus. Now, as you can tell, right here, somebody tried to stick weld a piece of mild steel onto cast iron, which ain't gonna work. It's broke off, but they kind of ate up some of the serial number there. But we got a 641 on the model number, I think, and that's a 32588. So I'm thinking this is a 600 series tractor from 1955. But I'm gonna do some more research on that. But let's see if we can get this thing started. Okay, first thing we see is silicone. Blobs of it everywhere, so that's not a good sign. Usually means they're trying to stop a leak somewhere. I just looked down inside the fuel tank. It looks surprisingly really good, so we don't have to worry about that, I don't think. The ignition. Now I get a shot of it. I'm sure I got water down in the cap and everything, so I'm going to pull that off and get that blown out real good. And then we'll drag the battery off my tractor or park my tractor over here next to it and see if we can't get the starter to spin. Okay, before we go any farther, let's pull this air cleaner off. This is the oil bath air cleaner. I don't want to suck a big bird nest or, I don't know, whatever, into the carburetor of the engine. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, a little bit of, well, that's water. Well, that's weeds. Looks like it's full of weeds, so I think we'll just leave this off, and I'll just pull the air cleaner tube off the carburetor here. It looks like they have a piece of PVC pipe holding it on. Not exactly standard equipment, but looks like it worked. We do that and I can spray starting fluid right into the carburetor. Let me pull my tractor over here, see if we can get this thing to spin. Now this is a 6-volt tractor. I converted mine to 12-volt, so I'm just going to see if we can spin it, and then I'll bypass pretty much everything and just energize the coil and see if we can get this thing to fire. Okay, it's a little hard to get down in here with this add-on bucket in the way. Hopefully I can get a camera angle. So the cap doesn't look bad. We're going to spray this out real quick. Get the rotor off here. It doesn't look bad. In fact, it doesn't look bad at all. See if we can find the points here. Doesn't look bad, a little broken. Let's spray those points off. So we got some carburetor cleaner. Do the same thing for the cap here. Just make sure that doesn't leave any residue. Starting fluid. Can's almost empty. Should carry any moisture away and evaporate quickly. Wipe these parts off real quick. We're not trying to do a resto, we're just trying to get spark and get the thing running. Now you gotta line these, are offset on these, so you gotta make sure you get this aligned right. A little notch there. Stick that back on. And pour that starting fluid out of there and wipe it out. Not the cleanest cap, but it'll do. My buddy will be doing a full rebuild on this, or refurb, I'm sure, once he gets it home. We'll just see if we can get some spark once we get it spinning. All right, let's see if we can get this thing to spin. Before we do anything else, let's check the oil. Yeah, it's full. No water in it. That's a good sign too. Okay, here's the setup I got going in my tractor. You've seen it in the intro, what it looked like before and what after. Pretty nice. Needs a bath though. So I got the jumper cables running over from the 12-volt battery to the ground, and then I'm jumping over to the starter. I've got a hot wire going from the positive battery cable over to the coil. Unfortunately, I can't tell if I have any spark because I'm clear on the other side of the tractor. So what I'm going to do here, you guys watch this spark plug for me right through there and tell me if it sparks when I crank this thing. Let me get this camera set up. You holler real loud so I can hear you. Okay, watch right here. Right there for spark. Here we go. Alright, did you see anything? Let's play it back and tell. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I did not see a spark. So I'm going to clean all the spark plugs. Maybe have my buddy come over and help me a little later. It's getting pretty hot out here right now. But we have oil, got water in the radiator, we've got fuel, and fuel to the carburetor. And all we need now is spark since it's cranking okay. So I'm going to work on this a little bit and come back later when it's a little bit cooler. Okay, it's a new day. Yesterday kind of kicked my butt. Couldn't get a spark. Swapped the coil, still couldn't get a spark. And to top off the day, a swarm of red ants surfaced underneath the tractor, and of course I didn't notice them until I had an arm covered in red ants, and they all bite you at the same time. So that was my cue to give up for the day and come back. So what I did was pulled the points, cleaned them, regapped them, found some old plug wires off an old GTO distributor I had laying around. My buddy had a coil across the road. Got that on there, so we got spark now, it looks like, I think. Cleaned the plugs, put them back in, and now we're ready for a test run here. I'm going to swing around the other side, spray some starting fluid in it, and see if we can get it to pop. Okay, let's get the wire jumped over to the coil. Starter's right here, intake's right there, and I'm spraying starting fluid, and that thing is sparking when I'm jumping it, so it's not the smartest thing in the world here, but hopefully we don't catch on fire. Let's see what happens. Trying. Woo! All right, let's turn the fuel on. Got a little bit of a leak out of the sediment bowl here, so I don't want to have it on. Even the valve right here is leaking. Just in case things went really bad. All right, let's give it another shot here. Fire up. Come on, baby. Woohoo! Didn't like that. It's trying. Woo! Nice. Well, a little smoke. See if we had oil pressure. Good. Let it run for a minute here. Okay, there she is. It's leaking. Sediment bowl's leaking. It's common. All right, we're going to take this in the garage, and I'm going to clean this thing up, and we'll stick it back on and see what happens. Okay, I got a carb kit, just a simple kit. I was hoping just to take the thing apart, blow it out, and put it back together, but the gasket was just shot. So, little quick trip over to Napa, 26 bucks later, I think, 30 bucks, and got the simple rebuild kit, and then got it all put back together, so it's looking good. Had to make a gasket for the sediment bowl because it was leaking so bad around there, and I couldn't find that in town on a rush. I could have ordered it, but and then I picked up a inline fuel filter as well, so to make sure anything in the tank doesn't end up through here and into the carburetor and plug up a jet again. So I grabbed some hose clamps. We're going to fix up the old fuel line. Was pretty bad. It was cracked and full of crap, so my buddy Dave had a chunk. I forgot to pick some up when I was in town, and now it's time to put it back on, and hopefully it runs. So I got a new gasket on here. We got to hook up the throttle and the choke, and then slide it up inside there. Slide that up in there. Now the idle mixture screw is really hard to reach on these. It's way in the back. I've got it set maybe a little too far open. I don't know. Just kind of guessed. I'd rather have it too high of an idle and then turn it down later than having a fight with the throttle linkage trying to keep it running. So snug these up here. These narrow nuts on these so they fit between the manifold flange and the manifold itself. Just got to get the fuel line on. They've got some pretty janky stuff on here. It's like water line tubing and stuff, but this is just enough to get it running. My buddy in Idaho will take care of everything and get it put together really nice with all the right stuff. I'm confident of that. So just trying to get this sucker going for now. Okay, the fuel filter in line here. Should stop any crap from the tank from getting any farther, hopefully. Not ideal, but it's good insurance. That sediment ball really, the screen in it only stops the big chunks. So let's tighten up that fitting, we're good to go. Let's put some gas in this thing, see if she'll start. Okay, we got fuel in it. My homemade gasket is not leaking. Carb's not spilling gas everywhere, so that's good. Put a couple of gallons in it just in case we spring a leak. It's not going to be 10 gallons of gas on the ground. So all we have to do is hook up the cables, see if this baby will start, and run. I'm not going to use starting fluid, I'm going to try the choke. About a quarter throttle. Choke hooked up. All right, here we go. Woo! That was easy. Listen to that thing purr. I don't know if the oil pressure works. Woohoo! Hydraulics are working. One little smoke here. Let's see if she'll idle. Nice. Look at that. Woohoo! All right. Well, next step is I'm going to clean these chrome part of these cylinders off real good, and then we'll see if we can't get the bucket to move so we can drive this thing around, make sure it'll go on the trailer. I like a win. Took a couple of days, but we got it. Nice. I love it. All right, I'm going to get the all the chrome cylinders cleaned up with some steel wool and maybe some 1500 grit sandpaper. You don't want to, after these things set a long time, they've got rust and pits and stuff on them. Last thing you want to do is retract that back into the cylinder, and it'll just cut the seals and then it'll just start leaking. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Get the air cleaner put back together, get this bird nest out of it, and get that all hooked up so we don't suck anything up in our brand new clean carburetor. And then air up one tire and let's see if this thing will move. Okay, let's start it up. I got all the cylinders, the chrome on them cleaned up the best I could. Put a little PB blaster on there too, so when they pull in, the seals won't be dry. Let's see if she'll fire up for us again. Choke. Let's give it a little throttle here. we go. Little throttle. Got a rag over these hoses because they look kind of janky. Let's try the box from the back first. Well, that one works. Yeah. That one doesn't want to work going that way. It's alright. Figure that out. Alright, let's try the bucket. Now let's just pull a lever and see what happens. There we go. Alright, let's see if she'll go up. Woo! We'll get sprayed by fluid. I don't want to push my luck. First time this bucket's been dumped in years. 10, 15 years maybe. Don't want to go down any farther. Oh, there it goes. Well, I'm going to rig up a battery on this thing, see if it'll move. Okay, well, got it running. That was the main goal. Got the hydraulics to go up and down. That was my other goal, so we could get it on the trailer, but unfortunately, she's not going to move on this video. I tried to disengage the clutch and put it in gear, and the clutch disc is frozen to the pressure plate in the flywheel. And that happens on these tractors that sit a long time. You know, water's gotten down in there, it kind of sticks together. And there's no way to get to it on these tractors, like anybody that owns one of them knows. To change the clutch, you actually have to split the engine from the back end, take the whole tractor in two pieces to get to it. There's no inspection plate or anything on these. You got to just crack the cast iron apart, do it, and then put it back together. So for this video, we're done. I'm gonna get my buddy over here with my tractor and then hook a chain on it and then put it in gear and push in the clutch and have him yank me a couple of times. Possibly might be able to get to break loose, at least to get this thing drivable so we can drive it onto the trailer, and then he can drive it into a shop over in Idaho. He's got a really nice shop, and get to work on this thing. So thanks for joining me here at Foothill Paint and Fabrication. We got some success here, and I'm not covering hydraulic fluid, so it's a win all the way around for me. So we'll see you on the next video.